Look at people who eat a lot of starch. They're not looking good. They're not doing good.
Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan, and a big shout out to my moderator Peter for forwarding me this video from this raw fruitarian guy. And I apologize for those of you who see me respond to this dude before and kind of getting sick of it, but this time it hits home and personal because he's totally dissing the foods that make up the foundation, the staples of the very way I eat. He's saying that people eat like rice and potatoes and legumes. We're sick and obese and we're not eating human food. And to show how outrageous this is, I mean, these are the very staple foods that have powered human civilization for millennia. Unfortunately for raw foodists and leaders like this guy and so many others, things like truth, science, evidence, history, stuff like that, they just throw that all out. They don't care. They think that's a bunch of bullshit. They know better because they don't cook their food.
People don't really want to hear this, but starches are not really food for humans.
I hear that phrase, not food for humans, tons from raw foodists, and what the hell does that even mean? Like it's only for animals or something like that? I mean, first of all, humans obviously eat it and we're not dying or something like that. Secondly, our own human DNA contradicts this dumb claim. Humans have evolved specifically to handle starches. We have a gene called AMY1 that produces salivary amylase, the enzyme in your spit that starts breaking down starch the second it hits your tongue. And genetic studies have shown that populations that have high starch diets have more copies of this specific gene for digesting starches. So basically, this raw fruitarian saying that starches are not human food shows his complete ignorance, complete lack of knowledge of the evolutionary biology history of our very species.
Beans, rice, potatoes. We should be eating fruit instead of starches. Starches are going to age you faster.
Next, he gets into the classic fruitarian science of aging, claiming that starches and grains and rice are going to age you faster because they're acid forming.
Because they are acid forming to the body and they slow the bowels.
So here's the problem. This claim about acid forming is contradicted by literally every textbook in human physiology. This is the classic deliberate misunderstanding of the so-called alkaline myth. There's no such thing as acid waste created by a potato that lingers in your body to make you age. Your blood pH is one of the most highly regulated systems in your body, staying between 7.35 and 7.45. So if eating a potato would make your blood acidic, you wouldn't just age faster, you would be in the ICU with metabolic acidosis. And by the way, there's no recognized diagnosis of acid waste by mainstream medicine.
And they slow the bowels.
Like what the hell? We're talking about beans and potatoes here. They're some of the primary sources of fiber on the planet. I mean, I just gotta laugh here. Like, why are so many raw food leaders like this completely deficient in science? I mean, just look it up to see if what you're saying is objectively false, because it is.
Look at people who eat a lot of starch. They're not looking good. They're not doing good.
Ooh, really? Now it got really personal, bro. Really? So you're having to attack people like me, lie about people like me who eat tons of starches like that, say we're all sick and look horrible and doing horrible. I mean, that's a bunch of bullshit. First of all, I want to say I'm going to be 59 in just a few weeks next month. I mean, I think I'm doing pretty good for my age. I'm not on any medications. I have pretty good blood labs. I'm still quite physically active and athletic. So what are you talking about? Where do you get any evidence for this bullshit claim that you're pulling out of your butt? Do you really have to do this, to stoop so low, to like totally disrespect and say horribly bad gaslit things about an entire group of people in order to make yourself look good? Anyway, maybe I jumped the gun. Let me calm down here a second and give him an opportunity to present his evidence.
A lot of the cultures around the world that rely on beans, they've all got guts. They're all overweight.
Once again, notice how he provides no evidence, no source for his outrageous claim. He just pulls it out of his butt, says it out there to the world, and hopes people believe it. Well, first of all, that's contradicted on many levels. First, anecdotally, because I feel I can do that. That's all he does here. Here's my most recent trip to the doctor, and you'll see here, my BMI is fantastic in the low 23s. And let's take a look at the vegan group in the Adventist Health Study too, and you'll notice that they are the only group that has a healthy body mass index. Their average is 23.6, a little bit above mine, so I guess I'm doing pretty good even compared to vegans. I mean, what he's saying is just complete nonsense. If you look at blue zones, regions in the world where people live the longest, healthiest lives, like say in Okinawa, Japan, their diets are centered on starches like the purple sweet potato. Furthermore, large-scale cohort studies such as the Nurses' Health Study have shown that higher intake of whole grains and legumes is actually linked with lower long-term weight gain and a significantly reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. I mean, this whole whacked-out notion of starches making people obese is directly contradicted by the best long-term population health data that we have. Again, you could have looked it up before saying this complete nonsense, but once again, facts, evidence, truth, and science don't matter. Just your opinion, just your propaganda does, right?
Starches are stressful to the digestive system and produce acid waste, which ages you fast.
Once again, he's repeating and demonstrating his lack of understanding how blood pH works. Eating a potato is not going to make you acidic. No food can do that.
Instead, eat the water-rich foods, fruits and salads and smoothies and superfoods. That's what you want to do instead of the starches.
So his solution for this problem that doesn't actually exist in reality is for the rest of your life to give up all cooked food and just eat raw food and do smoothies and juices for the rest of your life. So first of all, there's no need to do that. None of these problems that he claims that happen when you eat cooked food actually happen. They're just raw food talking points. And if you're actually to follow his advice of giving up all cooked food, you'd be having a hard time on just raw food to get some important nutrients, just like say folate and iron off the top of my head, which starches and legumes have plenty of. A 2024 review on resistant starch and gut microbiota concluded that these resistant starches that you're not going to get in your all-raw diet lead to beneficial metabolic outcomes, notably in metabolic syndrome, weight management, obesity, and diabetes. So if you look at the totality of the facts and science, there's a much better and healthier way to look at this whole thing. Should you eat only fruit? Should you only eat starches or cooked food? Well, the answer is to eat both of them. There's no reason to exclude perfectly healthy food groups from your life. Like if you're all into starch, doesn't mean you can't eat fruit. If you're all into fruit, doesn't mean you can't eat starch and grains and other cooked foods. And don't take my word for it. I could be making crap up. Listen to the opinions, the position statements of health organizations from around the world who understand and have reviewed the actual science on the matter and have concluded that a well-balanced vegan diet is nutritionally adequate. Meaning don't do stupid stuff and exclude entirely healthy foods like all cooked starches and grains because you think you're going to get acidosis. It's dudes like this Raw Guy and many others that promote other wacky, zany, non-science based diets that makes the internet such a dangerous place because it allows them to have a very easily accessible platform to broadcast their complete misinformation, their non-evidence-based nonsense to the entire world, and unfortunately many gullible people listen and it resonates. Oh yeah, it makes so much sense. Yeah, if you eat a potato, it's got acid and my blood will get acidic, and they listen to this nonsense and they end up damaging their own health by excluding perfectly healthy foods. The bottom line is, don't get your health information from YouTubers or influencers or TikTokers. Get your health information from boring, safe places. Find out what the general scientific consensus is, or listen to groups or organizations of health professionals, not individual lone doctors, because one individual person could be lone and rogue and make crap up because they're on a grift. So anyway, if you believe what the Raw Guy said was true and everything that I said was false, well, first of all, you'd be in contradiction with reality because I'm not obese, I'm not sick and stuff like he said would most definitely happen as someone who's been eating these horrible starches for my entire life. I'm still waiting, dude. When's it going to happen? Anyway, if you believe that nonsense, first of all, I think you're kind of silly, but if you want to try to defend yourself, come to my live stream Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and we can try to have a discussion. So I look forward to seeing everyone then, and remember, until I see you guys Friday, it's like being vegan.